Hey everybody, just wanted to do a real quick video responding to something as it relates to the Dillian Whyte situation. As you know, he tested positive for very small traces, metabolites of a banned substance 3 days before his fight with Oscar Rivas. And in my show this weekend on Monday, I don't even know if you guys will be able to hear this, but I went on record saying that Dillian Whyte was not enrolled in full VADA testing, but only in the clean boxing program. Check it out. Dillian Whyte's enrolled in the VADA clean, I shouldn't say VADA, the WBC clean boxing program. It is not the same thing as being enrolled in VADA testing. And for Eddie Hearn to say that, and I've noticed a lot of promoters and managers and advisors saying that recently. My fighter's enrolled in VADA testing when they're really not. They're in the WBC clean boxing program. It's completely different. Okay, so deservedly so, I took some heat for that because the reality is, apparently, and I won't even go into the comment section here, but there were a lot of you guys who were upset at that comment. So apparently, Dillian Whyte and Oscar Rivas had signed up for advanced VADA testing. They had signed up in that program. So Dillian Whyte was enrolled in the clean boxing program. You know, they listed on BoxRec here. He's since been taken out because the WBC has suspended him as part of their ongoing investigation. However, if you go to the VADA Twitter page, this is VADA's Twitter profile, and you scroll down, you go all the way down to April 27th. Here it is. VADA testing welcomes Dillian Whyte and Oscar Rivas to our program. So this is what I was alluding to them not doing in my episode this week, when indeed they were. So I, just now seeing this tweeted out, so Whyte and Rivas did indeed enroll in VADA testing. I wish we had the dates of sample collection testing from both VADA and UKAD. That sort of information should be more transparent to the public. And that really is the issue here, guys. By the way, none of this says for certain that what Dillian Whyte did or did not do was legal or illegal or on purpose or accidental. We don't know. There's an ongoing investigation. So I see a lot of people jumping down Dillian Whyte's throat right now and just bashing the shit out of him, going off on Eddie Hearn for defending his fighter. I think that's a little unfair. Does Eddie Hearn look a little hypocritical here? Does Dillian Whyte look a little hypocritical? Absolutely, with all the shit they've been talking about other people. However, this investigation is ongoing and we need to see what happens. I think one of the big problems here, though, is when these fighters do sign up for advanced testing, there's a lot of hush. There's a lot of hush clauses in regards to dates that samples are collected, when the samples are tested, what testing is being performed. Are they taking blood samples, urine samples? You know, which lab is processing them. Now, for VADA, I'm pretty familiar with their process, but for UKAD and some of these other authorities, they don't really make a lot of that information public. And very, very rarely do we have detailed information about the testing. As it relates to this situation, it looks odd that both VADA and UKAD were doing testing and only UKAD showed up with this abnormality in a couple of the samples that they took on July 17th, when VADA didn't. And generally speaking, VADA is the best testing group we have in all of sports, all of fight sports for certain. But what we don't know, guys, is per the contract these people signed, both fighters, their teams, everybody involved, you know, was VADA doing a certain portion of testing, UKAD doing a different portion? Was there a different timeline? We don't have the information. We don't know yet. So it's very, very possible, and I'm not saying this is the case, I'm speculating, but it's very, very possible that VADA did testing for a certain portion of camp, UKAD did a different portion. You know, we just don't know that information. That kind of information will go a long way into determining at least getting a more clear picture as to what may or may not have been going on with Dillian Whyte in his lead up to this fight with Oscar Rivas. But anyway, I wanted to set the record straight on this because, by the way, I've reached out to multiple authorities related to this situation, okay? And I can't get a straight answer from anybody. Now, a big part of that is probably because there is an ongoing investigation. But again, I say this sort of information needs to be more transparent, at least with the boxing press. We need to know, all right, when is testing starting? When's the first date? What types of samples are being taken? And all that kind of information, if that was made more public, that would go a long way into clearing the air with a lot of these situations. Right now, everybody's going nuts on social media. And for the record, what I stated in my episode of TNC this week was partially true, partially false. They were enrolled in the WBC clean boxing program because this fight between Whyte and Rivas was for a piece of the WBC heavyweight pie, right? So if you're in the top 15 WBC in any division, you're in that program. I will do a video breaking down the numbers of that program because I do think there is a lot of misconceptions and misinformation out there about what the clean boxing program is in comparison to signing up and enrolling with a VADA testing program. There's huge differences, and I do think there are a lot of promoters and fighters and managers and even networks that try to conflate the two, and I think a lot of them do it with, on purpose. They do it with intent. Not always, but anyway, I will do a video breaking all that down. But obviously, I was incorrect about the fact that Whyte and Rivas had signed up for VADA testing. All that being said, we still don't know the specifics. We don't know the details, and we're just going to have to wait and see. So, guys, these whole things, these investigations can take months, and everybody just needs to be patient. It's the same patience we showed this guy. Well, at least some of us did. Canelo Alvarez with the clenbuterol situation. But when all the facts and information come out, then it's time to start reporting on the actual facts and data. Right now, everything is speculation. And some people are going 100% all in defending Dillian Whyte and his promoter, Eddie Hearn. Some people are going 100% all in, bashing the hell out of them, making it seem like they're just complete snakes. I think if you're going to the extreme on either side of this before all the information's out, you're messing up. You need to relax, and we need to see all the information. I will say this much, and then I'll drop off here. I do not like UKAD's process. I've been very clear about that. I do not like their process, and I do not like the BBBFC's process in relation to UKAD. The whole adjudication process is, I think, broken. My biggest issue with it is, and I'll be specific to this case with Dillian Whyte and Oscar Rivas. If Dillian Whyte did test positive for something, or if there's an abnormality, or however you want to word it, found in his test sample, you need to make the sanctioning organization aware. That was the WBC. They were not made aware. And you sure as hell have to make the opponent aware. That was Oscar Rivas. They did not make him aware. That is wrong. That's flat out unethical. Oscar Rivas should have known what the hell was going on so that if the fight was going to go forward, he would at least know that this was going on. And he can make the decision if he doesn't want to go forward with the fight. You don't leave the opponent in the blind, and you don't leave the sanctioning organization in the blind. That's just wrong. That is one major difference between VADA and all the other testing authorities. As it relates to UKAD, there was another situation a few years back. I talked about this on TNC this week with Tyson Fury and Vladimir Klitschko. Tyson Fury had tested positive for a banned substance, basically an anabolic, and that whole adjudication process took years. Had Klitschko been aware that Fury had been doping, cheating, he probably wouldn't have gone forward with that first fight with him. The IBF certainly wouldn't have made him their mandatory. So that fight would have never happened. If it did happen, Klitschko probably would have demanded full VADA testing. There would have been a much different result in that fight. So guys, these things matter, okay? In UKAD's process and the BBBFC, that process is broken and needs to be fixed because this could get really ugly if the wrong thing happens. We just had 2 fighter deaths in boxing. It is not hyperbole to bring this stuff up. And if you're saying it doesn't matter, you've probably never boxed before. You've probably never been in sparring with a guy that you can tell is doping or doing something else. It's not right, guys. This stuff matters.